What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Shot of Sports podcast. Grab a drink, a snack. This is your weekly dose of sports, where we'll break down and do a deep dive on the world of sports. Whether you're a casual fan or a diehard, we're here to bring you the latest, the best analysis, and the hottest takes. Subscribe, share, and even leave a comment. We appreciate all the feedback. Smash the like button for us, and then also tap the notification bell on the right so you won't never miss one. Today we got on the show. We got our usual Nazir Spencer and Chris, Nazir Spencer and Chris Pittner, and we also have a guest coming on the show in about a few minutes. His name is David Pollier. So how was y'all? How was the past 2 days?
It's good, man. It was rough last night watching that game, but a lot of things we can go over in this, game wise. It's rough, but we'll get to it.
My
I
dad
think
this
we've
morning
learned a
told
lot
me,
about what Indy can do in these last few games.
I think I learned about the coaching on Thunder, but we'll get to it.
my dad
Yeah.
did this morning tell me that this was on today's date in 1991. This was the first time the Chicago Bulls won their first championship. They beat Magic. So
It's a good
a little
stat.
Chicago history right there.
When MJ finally overcame the Pistons in the East.
Literally. So with that, we're gonna add David Pollier. He's he's been a Hawk Talk guy from Wisconsin Whitewater. He's went to school with us. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you graduated yet, but go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. I graduated at the start of 2024, actually. But yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it. It was really fun talking to you guys on Hawk Talk. I know Chris and I did that a lot. A couple of semesters.
You were part of my OG crew back in the day.
Yeah, dude. That was I think that was my first ever time. Done it one time my freshman year, but that was only for like a semester. But yeah, so I'm excited to talk about the finals and whatever other topics you guys have. I'm really looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to start with our first topic, which will be obviously the Pacers go up 2-1. So potential superstar, I'm gonna keep saying it, potential superstar Tyrese Halliburton and the MVP showed out. The Pacers go up 2-1 in a dogfight of a game, and the Thunder have yet to figure out how to win close games this postseason. I mean, I think they're like 1-4 when they're down in close games. So what are the Thunder? Are the Thunder in serious trouble? Like knowing that you have to win this game in Indy?
No, they're only in trouble if they lose next game. That's what I think. But look, man, the coaching is just like so rough because of the rotations that I was trying to tell David yesterday. The rotations of not having Hardenstein starting is really affecting them, considering that they can't guard Siakam in the post. They can't guard him regardless with Case and Wallace switching on to him. It just doesn't make any sense from our angle of the viewing people, because you're putting small ball on their best scorer, and it just does not work that way. And if you put a backup guard on their best scorer, it's not going to work. If you put Hardenstein in the game, he only played 18 minutes last night, which I think is blasphemous. I think he should be having 25 to at least 30 minutes, considering he's their strongest big, and Chet's very weak down low. I think it's better if it's just better if Hardenstein starts with Chet, considering just all those intangibles that I went over before. But just the Pacers in general, they played outstanding offense. They were a little rough at the beginning. They were getting matched offensively by the Thunder throughout the entire game because it's the Thunder. They have the equivalent offense to the Pacers in my opinion, and they had 18 or plus turnovers. That's probably why they lost in general, and they let Benedict Mathurin score 30 points. So that's not going to cut it if you want to win this series. You can't let bench players outscore their starters and expect to win. So I'm looking forward to Friday. I think it'll be a good turnaround. They started off the game pretty well, but I really think that rotation is going to kill them if they don't. I don't know why they changed it last minute. I understand, the switch and it being very effective on the guard situation with Nembhard and Halliburton and Shepard and all those guys and TJ McConnell. But it's just not going to work. You got to put the bigs in. You got to be able to play like that.
I mean, when I look at this, right, I see a team in Indy yesterday that was really helped by the crowd. I think the crowd really did them a huge favor in that game. They were urging them forward. They were energetic the whole time, and it rubbed off in the Pacers' energy the entire game. They were all high flying, completely just ball moving well. Everything was going well for them. They were forcing turnovers on defense, and when you look at this OKC team, I was shocked because they were exhausted by the end of the game. You could tell like guys were taking an extra second or two. Shea, when he got fouled one time, took an extra couple seconds on the ground. You could tell that even Caruso a little bit was gassed. So my major concern, I think, would be OKC's cardio, just because of how fast Indy plays. In Indy, it feels like took it up to Mach 11 in this series. They're playing even faster than they have in the first 3 series of the postseason.
I mean, even watching Shea, I mean, I seen him like bent over on like touching his knee, holding his knees, like at least 4 or 5 times down the stretch. Like he was gassed. I don't even know what to say. I mean, because even if he had even Shea had 24 points, and that's considered a down game. Like think about that. Like
I was gonna say
points considered a down game.
Nas, I'm starting to agree with you about the whole small ball thing. I thought we really saw, just to your point there, we thought we really saw its effectiveness in Game 2 because I remember watching that Nuggets series when they were running the double bigs. Murray would just get Jokic in the pick and roll with Holmgren every single time. And I think Indiana is kind of a special case because, like you guys were saying, the pace they play with is just extremely fast, and it's unique because it's extremely fast, but they don't ever let themselves get sped up, which is why their tempo works so well. Yeah, I'm starting to think that we may need to see the double big again. The one thing about Hartenstein, he's a very good. I'm not saying he's a bad defender, but we've seen that he can get in some early foul trouble. He picked up 2 fouls in his first 3 or 4 minutes of play. His second foul came very early in the second quarter. So we'll have to see how they adjust to that. Indiana has proven that they're not afraid to get super physical with the Thunder in the front court to try to get them in the foul trouble early. But personally, I'm not super worried about the Thunder either. And I know, I said it when they lost Game 1, and now I'm saying it when they lose Game 2. There's only so much more ground they can give, before they obviously lose the finals. But the things that I've seen the Pacers doing that have led to them having success just doesn't really feel like sustainable. I mean, obviously in Game 1, it was just a freakish collapse that we haven't seen from this Thunder core all year. And everyone thought it's like, okay, well, they got this one game, but it was in one of the most unpredictable and you play that game out 9 times out of 10, probably doesn't end like that. But then with this game, I mean, they were making turnovers that I've never seen a team in the finals make. How many times did they turn the ball over just inbounding it?
They were so gassed too. That to Jalen's point, they were gassed, just throwing it in, not even trying to focus on the on the next play. They were just trying to walk the dog, as we say. But TJ McConnell's head's in the game, and everyone knows that he's a steal merchant. He loves to get those quick.
That's the only reason he's out there is for his defense. Exactly. I mean, he can hit an occasional 3, but they were just like Caruso was that one play where Nembhard had the mid range and then they instantly win, and Caruso was trying to get it to J-Dub and he just threw it right to him. I honestly like I said, I mean, it was a horrible play, but I don't think those are plays that we're going to see from the Pacers make again. I mean, I think they were just kind of trying to go through the motions, and obviously you can't do that in the finals, but I don't really think that's something that's we're going to see consistently. I mean, they can't, right?
Right.
Yeah, but the thing is about that comeback that you were talking about, the 9 times out of 10 it doesn't happen. That's happened arguably 4 times in the postseason for Indy already. So the 9 out of 10, just keeps happening, or the 1 out of 10, excuse me, just keeps happening over and over. The Bucks series, we saw them down 7 with 30 seconds left. They win. The Cavs series, they were down near 10 with like a minute left. They win.
Right.
The Knicks series, they were down 10 with 2.5 minutes left. They win. Finals,
I
same
just thought
thing.
it was
It's
going to
just
be
they're
different.
the
I
exception
thought it was
to
going
the
to be.
rule, I think.
That's very true. I just thought it was going to be different because, like, by definition, and this might sound crazy, like off rip, but by definition, this Thunder team is the third best NBA team of all time because their point differential is the only teams that are higher than them in point differential in the playoffs is the 96 Bulls, which Jalen was just talking about, and the 2016 Warriors. And I'm not sure about their defensive rankings, but I mean, this is just in general one of the best defensive teams I've ever seen play. I mean, we saw what they've done. We saw what they did to New York. We saw what they did to Halliburton in games 1 and 2. I was just not something I was expecting was going to happen with them when they played the Pacers, because Carlisle said at the end of game 2, like, you see defensive sets that from the Pacers and defensive intensity that they haven't seen the entire playoffs, and they've played some really good teams.
Hallie admitted that it's the best defense he's played in his career. So I mean, I'm seeing a trend with the Pacers. They're not as consistent with their starters, but they really rely on that bench. McConnell and Mathurin are big steps, and Obi Toppin had a crazy fourth quarter with his putbacks, his defense. And, Chet had a good game, 0 for 6 from 3, though. He had a pretty good game. He was plus
is he still canceled?
He was. I'm not gonna, okay. For reference, yes, I canceled Chet after game 1 because he was absolutely pathetic when it came to offense and even defense. Last night he was okay for a little bit. He started off the game amazing. I said he was uncanceled because he was on a tear. He was on his way to 30 points, but he only ended up with 20, and I think that's because of his physicality in the paint. And like I said, that has something to do with him playing the 5 right now. He's not a true 5 right now, in my opinion. I think he can be eventually, but if you put Hartenstein at the 5 and Chet at the 4, which I think he's better at, the 4. It's like Anthony Davis. If Anthony Davis is playing the 5, he's not as good as he is at playing the 4. If Chet is playing the 4, he is unstoppable with another big next to him, which I don't think the Pacers can match. They can't, because Miles Turner, if you put a physical center on Miles Turner, it is going to be hard for him to get up. I know he's a veteran. I know he's well-rounded, but it's about matchups at this point. If you want to win the next game, you have to start Hartenstein. You have to give him more than 18 minutes to play. And Chet,
which is weird because they didn't I was actually looking back at some of their previous games, especially in the Timberwolves series. I looked at Hartenstein's minutes and it was like really surprising. Like, even when he would start, he hasn't gotten 25 minutes since like the second round.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know why. I mean, he does get into foul trouble somewhat early sometimes, but like I'm starting to kind of agree with you here. I mean, I was sold on it because it worked with game 2, but I'm really confused as to what Dagnall's plan is with the 2 big lineup, because I understand if you want to start, like, when they started Hartenstein, they would have him play for maybe 18 to 20, and Wallace and Caruso would play more, but they would come off the bench. But I mean, it kind of feels like it's like the opposite now. But I was just going to say, I really agree with your point about how the bench really, really matters. Game 3, Obi Toppin and Mathurin, or game 2, Obi Toppin, Mathurin, McConnell, they weren't really involved. I think Obi Toppin only had 3 points. Mathurin only had 5. But I mean, I said it yesterday. I think Mathurin is personally, in terms of pure microwave scoring, that's really all he's out there for. That's what he did at Arizona. He actually played with Bulls legend Dalen Terry. Shout out to
Dalen Terry, man. Which I know about
at Arizona, man. I was so high on that team in the tournament, man. I can't believe they lost to that TCU team, man. I had them in the Final Four, but with the Indiana's bench is super important to their success. I actually saw something on one of these I think it was one of these accounts that I follow, but the Pacers have not lost a game in their playoffs when they get 15 points from their bench.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, dude. I mean, the thing is, too, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
I was wondering because we saw it in the Knicks series too, where they went with Robinson and Towns a lot of the time, and it felt like at least offensively they were able to create second chance opportunities. The Knicks were against this Indy team. They're not the best rebounding team in the league in that regard. So I'm wondering, like, why is Hartenstein not playing more? Because it feels like the more he plays, the more successful they are, especially against a small ball team like Indy. I get the argument that pace is so important, but you're creating second, third, and maybe even fourth chances on offense, and that slows the game down in itself a little bit and allows you to get your defense set every time you score.
Jalen,
Yeah, I mean, how about Tyrese Halliburton becoming the fourth player in NBA history to tally 20 points, 10 assists, and 8 rebounds in the finals game before turning 26? The other three, Westbrook, Doncic, and Johnson twice. Magic Johnson twice.
I think if they win this finals, the list of everyone who called him overrated has to become like made public. I think that's something that has to happen.
that'd be spicy.
I don't think he's overrated, but like people like Jalen saying that he's better than Luka Doncic, there's a point where
Luka Doncic.
Well, if he wins this finals and wins finals MVP, you said basically that there's a legitimate argument to be made.
There is. Like, what are we talking about?
I don't think he's overrated at all. He's a great player. It's just I don't think he's quite to that level. Like if people are gonna put him up at that tier, in my personal opinion, he's overrated.
You're telling me if this man goes and wins the finals against the best OKC team they've ever had, the best defense in the league, the best team in the league, and win the finals and wins finals MVP, he's not worth being up in the discussion with Luka Doncic.
The thing is, he's not going to win finals MVP. Siakam was.
I'm actually not sure who would because Siakam was fine in game one.
Games, all 3 games.
Yeah. I think like the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, like we've seen some weird stuff happen. Jaylen Brown won it last year. And obviously he's not the best player on the Celtics last year. But I think with Finals MVP, Halliburton would have to have like a really, really, really bad series. Yeah. It almost always goes to the best player on the best team. I know Jalen a while ago brought up the whole Iguodala argument, which is like the outlier of all outliers. But I think it would probably go to Halliburton. And I was thinking about this. I think Drew actually told me about this one time. We were playing like video games or something. And I mean, it sounded crazy at first, but I think I'm gonna have to agree with Jalen here. You would at least have to entertain the discussion. I'll
exactly. Like you would actually have to be able to talk about it.
Oh, I agree.
I don't know if I agree, but like it's really hard to argue with a Finals MVP with the path that they had at this early in his career. He's only 25. I will say that this Pacers team is like miles better than the Mavericks team that Luka had in the finals. But,
yeah. Role players are on top. It was just
this Pacers team is deep, like 1 to 10, basically. It's all hands on deck. You see Mathurin score 20, 25, 30 points. TJ McConnell can get you 15 just with those cheesy mid ranges that he likes and the step backs and the fancy layups that he can hit. And then you just see other guys in the starting lineup. Siakam can give you 20. Turner on the right night can give you 20. I mean, Aaron Nesmith can give you 20. Andrew Nembhard, even on some days, can give you 20.
Andrew Nembhard was an absolute bucket at Gonzaga, man. I loved watching him play. And that's something I really like about this Pacers team, too. And why, if they do win, I'm rooting for the Thunder, but if the Pacers do win the finals, I'll have to respect it because they built their team the right way. And you don't see that a lot anymore with the Nets, teams like the Lakers, always trying to like go in, make the big moves, assemble the super teams and everything like that to get like the big name stars. The Pacers never did that, you know what I mean? And something I really like is that they took advantage of other teams like high-level players that maybe didn't work out. Like Aaron Nesmith was a first lottery pick for the Celtics a couple years ago. Obviously, Obi Toppin was a top 10 pick for the Knicks. And they took those guys that, obviously are talented players, but didn't work out in their first environment. And they were able to revitalize them. Like Nesmith was a throw-in in the Brogdon trade. And I'm pretty sure they outright just signed Obi Toppin after his rookie contract was up. They got Nembhard with a second-round pick. I mean, they gave up a decent amount of assets for Siakam, but he's not like a superstar. You know what I mean?
Did anybody see that stat to where if the Pacers win the finals, this will be like the 9th or 10th straight season a Wizards player would have won the finals?
That's kind of funny.
Wait, what?
Who's the Wizards
Wait,
player on
who's
the
on
Pacers?
the Wizards? Am I stupid? Who's on the Wizards?
Thomas
Thomas
Bryant.
Bryant.
Was he ever a Wizard?
Oh yeah, Thomas Bryant,
Thomas Bryant. I think
Thomas
there's some other dude on there
Bryant,
too that they said, but I forgot what his name was.
the big baller, the big rebounder. Hey,
Thomas
he
Bryant.
actually made a difference yesterday. He was actually being crazy physical down low with Chet.
That was so
Bro.
funny in like the second quarter when like Chet tried to drive it at him. He's like, and then he immediately picks up a foul.
He's soft, bro. He's soft. Chet Holmgren is soft, bro. I hope he
I
sees
wouldn't say
this.
all that. I just think this series
Jalen.
is right for him.
Jalen, he's the softest big right now. Last year we were comparing this man to Wemby. All right. Yes, everybody was comparing this man to Wemby because they were going at it. They were rookie rivals. Bro, it's not even close now. Wemby would drop 40 on these boys in this time in the finals. It's
Wemby's out here channeling his inner like his inner like avatar. Like with
Yeah,
that
I was telling you
sheet-
last
like
night.
a
I was telling
sheet
you
head
last
with, like,
night that I was telling you last night that when I seen that play that Miles Turner had like bodied him and he just flew off
Bro.
of him, I was like,
Chet went for a 3 and Miles Turner blocked it in 2025. Who does that, bro? It's not happening, bro. No one else is getting blocked by Miles Turner on the perimeter. It's not happening, bro. I don't
Hey,
care.
don't be disrespecting my Lego building goat, okay?
Dude,
I can't.
nah.
I can't. It's too early in his career, though. I ain't gonna lie. This might be. It just the lights might just be too bright for him. That's all.
Man, they better win this finals, bro. Otherwise, he's canceled for all
Yeah.
next year.
This is gonna be like, no offense to the Pacers team, this is gonna be like a cataclysmic collapse if they don't win this finals. And yeah, I agree with what you said, Nas. Like his stat line looks pretty deceiving because you see he had like 20 points, 10 rebounds, like
6
4
for
assists. You're
15,
like, that's
plus
not- that's
one,
not
plus
a-
minus.
You need
That's
a
not
if
bad.
you're a
game,
big,
but it's
you
like,
need to be
oh, he had
shooting better than
13
6
points in
for
the first
15.
quarter.
Man,
I
whatever.
think
man.
some guy named Jordan Muir said you the biggest Miles Turner hater.
Yeah, I am. I text in our fantasy group chat. We have a fantasy basketball league, and I say, whoever. I told them last year, whoever drafted Miles Turner, good luck.
That's such like an odd player to hate on.
Because we're I don't remember. I think we were like the 4th round or 5th round. I said, yeah, don't draft Miles Turner. He's trash. But it ended up.
He's
I
gotta
ended
be
up
like the absolute goat at like being in trade rumors, but never actually getting traded for like 8 years now.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude, the amount of times
it's
where the
like,
Bucks
Lakers
were
are gonna make a
rumored to
move
get
for
him.
Miles Turner at the trade deadline.
That's what
and
I'm
it never
saying, bro.
ends up happening.
Who's that good to be on the trade market every single year for the past 10 years of your career? Come on, bro. You're not good.
But everyone
How about
wants
that-
him though.
how
Like,
about that bounce back if they
as a
win the
Bucks
finals?
fan, I would have loved Miles Turner.
Oh yeah, me too. He would have been loved if he was here. Don't worry about that. But otherwise, nah, he trash.
He'd been loved on the Bulls. Please get rid of
Yeah.
Vucevic
Oh yeah, but listen, the
on the Jazz. Well,
The
no,
plan-
because
the plan
that
for the
Walker
Thunder,
Kessler.
bro. I'm gonna get you to start a lineup: Shea, J-Dub, Dort, Chet, Hardenstein. It's not being stopped. It's
I
not
think they
being
would
stopped.
probably do Lou at the 2 and J-Dub at the 3.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
Flip them
I
around,
agree.
whatever, same thing. But yeah,
I agree.
I don't know. I don't know who's the center that's gonna come off the bench. Maybe play Jay Williams a little bit more. Maybe I think he's pretty good. I don't know, but I don't know. You're gonna have to figure that out. I think they're gonna have to split the center minutes, but also play at the same time a lot and get physical in the paint. Get to the foul line. They weren't making their free throws in the clutch yesterday either, which is a problem.
They could have
seems
had
like
that
a team
game
never
for
can
1 or
make
2
free throws when they
possessions
play
right
the
at the end if they just made the free throws.
yeah.
How many times we said that this postseason, if they made people made their free throws, they beat the Pacers.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
whole
part of
time,
that devil
that whole-
magic,
that
man.
whole-
That's all it is.
Cavaliers thing never even happens if that is the case.
I mean, if Gary Trent catches the ball for the Bucks, there's a chance that series goes to 7.
I don't know about
Yeah.
that, but it would have been interesting. I'll say that.
Yeah. 100%.
I thought David brought up a really interesting point earlier about like the super team era. I think the super team era is starting to come to an end. We saw a lot of those
Oh, it's
quote
already
unquote
over, bro.
super
It's
teams.
been over.
It's
The
already over, bro.
The Lakers went down pretty easily. The Bucks went down pretty easily. A lot of those teams that are like the Sixers didn't even make the playoffs this year. Now, of course, that's a different situation, but
Right.
a lot of the teams, I think depth, just because there's so much talent in the NBA that there's never been before, teams with depth that can go 8, 9, 10 deep and not really lose a stride are just starting to dominate over those teams like the Lakers, where they had no center the last 2 months of the year and had to play their starters literally the entire postseason.
They were
And
playing Dorian Finney-Smith at the 5.
I personally thought that the super team era ended when the Bucks won. Because remember when they had that? What was that? What big three? I think they had. What was it?
There's
Devin Booker,
Holiday, Giannis,
Ayton.
and Middleton.
Yeah.
Oh,
Talking about the
the
Suns?
Suns, you mean?
Yeah,
Chris
they
Paul,
had-
Booker, and Aiden.
Yep.
I wouldn't
I
even call
mean, that
that super
depends
though.
on would
It's
you
not a
consider
super
the
team,
Celtics
but, I
last
mean,
year a super
it's like
team?
a big three because they had Mikal Bridges.
Celtics was the last super team. I think the Celtics
I
and the
would-
Lakers.
yeah.
This past
Yeah,
decade,
I
I
think
think the
that's
Celtics
fair.
and the Lakers.
At
were-
least with the Lakers, though, I can understand why they made the trade because, like, the biggest thing with the Lakers, like for me, was like once LeBron retires, and once my guy Day-to-Day Davis, finally hangs it up. I didn't really think that's my nickname for Anthony Davis because he consistently only plays like 40-50 games a season, but like this move gives them a clear direction after like post Bron. And so like this trade, obviously it doesn't look very good for them this year. Obviously I don't think they anticipated the Mark Williams trade to get vetoed, but it gives them like a clear direction and a superstar to build around. And they can figure the rest out later. It's going to be harder because they have like no first round picks until like 2029, but it gives them something.
Sounds like the Bucks. Bad
Yeah.
situation. to be in.
2031, baby.
We don't even control our picks. That's even worse. Jesus.
For how long?
2031.
Oh man.
We have a second rounder this year, and I think that's our last pick until 2031.
Unless we trade somebody good.
Oh wait, yeah, because there was that. Didn't you guys trade like 5 first-round picks or like second-round picks for somebody?
For Dame.
Jake
dude.
Crowder, baby.
Oh, yeah, Jay Crowder. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jay
the
Crowder.
5 second-round picks for Jay Crowder. That's right.
I don't know what that was about.
If there is any superstars out there, we'll be glad to take them and give you a load of picks.
Hey, what's the plan for the Jazz, bro? I'm trying to hear that.
I have no idea. To be honest,
I keep
Hey,
seeing
call up the
I'm hearing
GM
trade
real
talks.
quick.
I'm like,
Figure it
yeah,
out
you-
for us.
You got the
Good.
GM number, bro. What's going on?
I got his number, but I did see that a couple of people that was close to him was talking about Jeremiah Fears,
Who?
and I'm just like,
hate
why,
that guy. I
bro?
hate
We don't
that guy.
need another point guard.
You
Yeah.
don't even need one. Yeah, I was gonna say
We don't need a point
I
guard.
hate
Like,
that guy
it's
so
like,
much.
dude, like,
If you guys would have gotten not even 1, but just 2 or 3, you could have gotten Harper or Bailey. It's just you guys got 5, which was just ridiculous.
Can we talk about that for a second? How this is the 3rd straight year where the team with the worst record in the
Stop
NBA
thinking.
has gotten the 5th overall pick.
Stop
It
thinking.
was
I've
like
been
Full
saying for years.
foil
Two
hat after
years.
that happened.
Thank
Now
you.
them.
that's
Stop
how you know this draft is rigged because
Stop thinking. I would rig it too.
the Mavericks literally played Luka for nothing. And you get rewarded with Cooper Flag.
They
That's
tried,
some
though.
bull-
Hey, they tried to make the playoffs. They were almost there. Come on, man.
Yeah, they did make the play-in, but
Jalen said Jazz need Continental. I can agree with that.
Ooh.
We don't have no shooting.
I don't know.
The Jazz need who?
I think Con should stay one more year personally. I don't think he's fully. I mean, I think he's fine.
I think the
with
Jazz
it,
should
but
trade.
wait, who did you say?
Con Knipple,
Con Knipple.
there's in the comments, my friend Jalen said Jazz need Con Knipple.
I can agree with that. Like they don't have no
But
shooting.
Jalen, when we
don't have
talked to
no
your
shooting.
boy, we talked to your boy Leaf that one time, and he was completely against Con.
Yeah, he's
just
completely
because,
against Con. Yeah.
just
I
because of
think
how
Con
much he's
personally
more of
is,
a
like,
role player,
really,
and I kind of
bumped
agree
his
with him
stock
on
up
this.
recently.
I
Well, I
don't
can
know
agree
if
with- I would
Khan's gonna
say-
be an X factor for a team, though. That's the thing. Like
I would
he's
say
gonna
Con
be.
Knipple would
He's
be
gonna be a
drafted
great
like
role
15.
player, but I don't know how much better he's gonna be besides that. Just because he's not super athletic and he's not the best defender.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying
Con is
take him at
somebody to
5,
me-
but
Oh, sorry,
I'm
go
just saying like, and maybe sometime like maybe down the like in the middle of the draft where he's supposed to be projected, the Jazz trade something to get one of those picks. And if Con is there, you grab him there, and that means you have shooters
Yeah.
going off the bench. Like you need a shooter. We have no shooters besides. I think Keontae George, and I think
Collier's
Fuller's
solid, right?
Oh, he's nice, man.
Collier's a nice shooter, but I think
no,
personally, like Con
Collier
is,
can't shoot.
Not shoot, but he's nice. He can play
Yeah,
make.
he's nice.
He can
He
finish.
can control the pace of the game for sure. Yeah, he's a good guard. He just needs to. That's what we've been saying this whole season. That in the offseason he needs to work on his shooting, his offense, because he
Yeah,
passes well, but
that's
he
why
doesn't.
Jeremiah Fears is kind of like a weird pick because like you guys already in theory have your starting backcourt with George and Collier, but yeah, Con is somebody to me that like I've seen him all over draft boards. I've seen him as high as 10, and I've seen him as like low as like 19. But like he's
Yeah,
been
Collier cannot shoot.
he had a good combine, but like I think personally, he's the type of guy to where he's gonna be at his best when he has like another good like star wing next to him, because like all season with Duke, he benefited from not having the most defensive attention on him because there was always like a Cooper Flag or like like Sion James was a really athletic wing. And he's going to be somebody who's going to be a really nice complementary piece. Like, I agree with what Chris says. The defense really has to improve. But I think in the right system, like, I think if the Spurs hang on to number 14, I think Knupel would be a great fit in San Antonio. I don't think they're going to hang on to that pick, but
I can't see
Yeah,
them
I
holding
mean-
on to it either.
I mean, it's like, because I like Jace Richardson too. That kid can ball.
He's
But
not-
it's like obviously the Jazz can't get them all. So I really like if outside of Cooper Flag, I wanted the Jazz so bad. Like I wanted my team so bad to get Ace Bailey. But we got
Bigger
five
pickup
now,
for you,
so it's like
actually.
now we might have to settle for VJ Edgecombe.
Yeah,
him or like Trey Johnson.
yeah. I don't know about that one.
Do you know, is there anything that you guys could get for Markkanen at this point, or is his value just in the
Man, y'all better
sewer?
trade him, bro.
He has
Trade
good
that
mark.
man.
He got good value. It's just
He ain't never
who
been.
wants
He
to
ain't,
take him for
I
about
feel like he could be valuable in the right given system. He could be valuable, but just not in the role that the Jazz have him in.
he's never made
yeah,
the
'cause
playoffs.
he's not supposed to be in our future plans, I don't think. But
Y'all realize he's never made the playoffs a day in his career. He's had early.
I mean,
summer.
that's not shocking.
my
He
heart
doesn't
when
provide
he
much on
plays
defense. He
the-
doesn't provide anything really besides scoring. He's
He
just
was on the
he's a
Cavs
7-foot
team when it was
scorer who
bad.
doesn't do anything else.
because he can't play the 4 or 5, so I put him at 3 and put him at the wing.
They tried to like when Jim Boylan tried to make that guy into like a stretch four, like a rebounding stretch four, and it just
Nah.
ruined him. I'm so glad he got out of Chicago. It broke my heart, but like we were gonna ruin Laurie if he would have never reached these heights if he stayed in Chicago, because that he was in like the purgatory Bulls. Like that, man, that was rough.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be very interesting. We'll probably have maybe a draft show before the draft, hopefully, and then we're gonna have a live pod, so we're gonna watch the draft live, like a watch along, like we did with the NFL. So it'd be very interesting to see. So we got to go into our next topic, which is the NHL. So obviously, prayers for Drew Best and his mental health and his family, but the Oilers are kind of down right now. The Panthers absolutely destroyed them last game 6-1. So with that kind of a performance, are the Panthers about to take command of the series, or
Look, man,
what on earth does the Oilers have to do?
Certainly
to at
feels
least
like the
win this game?
momentum's on their side.
they're doing nothing, bro. They can't do anything because you know why? I said this. Game 1. That's cute. Let's see if you can do it again. They can't do anything against the Panthers. It's not gonna happen. I tried to tell Drew. The only way they win the series is in 7 games. If you get to 7 games, though, you're not getting more than 3 goals. You know why? Because the Panthers are going to get like 4, and you're going to get like 1. The defense on this team is immaculate. The offense on this team is so pure. They know exactly how to confuse you. They know exactly how to get in your head on the ice. It's not happening, bro. The Panthers are winning it. I told you, it's if they win it, if the Oilers somehow win it, you can call me crazy. All right, you can say that I don't know ball. You can say I don't know how. I don't care. But as of right now, eat my socks. Okay. These
Well, I do
guys
want to say
are
though
winning.
that you said basically the same thing about the Dallas Stars last round, and they lost in 5 convincingly.
Yeah, but I
the
always
Stars
have
didn't
Panthers
win
winning.
more than 1 game though.
I always have Panthers winning the finals, though. I never have
always
the
had the
Stars
Panthers,
winning.
though.
I never had the Stars winning the finals. I just thought the Stars. I don't like the Oilers, so I was like, Stars, let's go. But I always had the Panthers win the finals since the beginning.
Yeah, he was saying that all like for the past month.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're gonna need McDavid to step up. I mean, he's played well. I mean, he's got to do more now. He got to go score, in my opinion. He has to like put it. He has to go into this game with the mentality of I have to score. Because if you go down at least 2-0 down there in Florida, that's when you're gonna start walking into some testy waters.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna be flirting with danger, going down 3-1 again.
Have fun.
And they're gonna close you out.
Yep.
They're not gonna wait till game 7.
Nope, not happening.
I think the biggest thing personally is the the difference in goalkeeping has been the biggest part of this series. I mean, Skinner in game 3 was just god awful. I mean, giving up 5 goals in a game on its own is tremendous, but in such quick succession, it's just and I think, like, especially like, because you're gonna have to win another game in enemy territory, you give the crowd momentum like that again, and it's gonna be really hard. It's gonna be hard for the best teams to come back from. But like the difference in goalkeeping is just so incredibly evident in this series. And like Skinner wasn't horrible this season, but like, man, it's getting exposed here.
Yeah, it was the goaltending advantage is clearly on the side of the Panthers in this series with Bobrovsky versus Skinner. Skinner was really good actually in games 1 and 2. His save percentage was in the 90s. He was holding Florida at bay. But the biggest thing for them, I think, was adding Brad Marchand at the trade deadline this year. That was huge for them. He's just been a complete X factor for them. He did it to Toronto in the second round. He was the major reason why they even made it through that series to begin with. And now he's starting to dominate the Oilers. They just made the best team in hockey even better this year, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's something. I mean, how about Dallas? Like when the Oilers won, like I think it was like 2 days or a couple days after Dallas had decided to, we're going to let Peter DeBoer go. We're firing him. Like, man, bro, he like literally got y'all to the West. Like, I mean, they ain't played well. I mean, you can't blame that on him, but I mean, Odger just played like dog. He just played like crap. He played ass. So it's like I hate when, and the NBA does this too. I hate when they punish coaches for how bad players are playing.
Oh, the NFL does it too, buddy.
Oh, and NFL, MLB. Brandon Hyde got fired by the Orioles after this bad start.
But that was like really bad though. They were like really good last year.
To be fair though, like
he ran out the same lineup though.
it was more on the GM. Like they thought they could replace Corbin Burns with like 87-year-old Charlie Morton, and they got Tyler O'Neill, who I don't think Tyler O'Neill, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he's played over 100 games in a season in like the last like 4 years. He's solid.
Let's just jump into the MLB whip around. Go ahead.
Yeah, they replaced him with Santander had like 40 home runs last year, and Michael Elias just sat on his hands and did nothing. And like, but I kind of agree with what Jalen's saying, because it's like it isn't Hyde's fault that Adley Rutschman had like a 600 OPS since like last year's All-Star deadline. Like that one, like obviously it looks bad. There's bad optics if you keep a coach after you have the same record as the White Sox, but like I feel like they kind of got set up to fail because they got. In terms of all the MLB like contenders, especially in the American League, they got like considerably worse.
Yeah, I mean that the way that they look is absolutely insane. From how they went, talk about a fall from grace in the season. Last year they had almost 100 some wins.
There was like 100 and 102, 103.
Yeah, they were. I picked. I mean. This is not betting advice, but I picked
that was 2 years ago, wasn't it? Or was that last year?
No, that's right, Chris. That was 2 years ago. They were still good last year, I think.
Last year they won like 90 something. They were still really good. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't quite 100 good.
Over the past 2 seasons, this is not betting advice. I have picked them to win the World Series both years. These past 2 seasons. Now,
I don't blame you. I mean, the only thing that you could like use as a knock against them is that they didn't have anyone with like deep postseason experience in high leverage situations. But I mean, like I think like last year there was like a real debate. Gunnar Henderson and Bobby Witt were right there for the 2 best shortstops in the league, and
they still are, in my opinion.
Gunnar, I don't want to say he's definitely not bad. He's a little bit worse. But yeah, he's having a good season still. But like Adley has been horrible. A lot of their top prospects are either getting slow starts or haven't panned out, but their pitching has been horrible after losing Corbin Burns. Like now, and to be fair, Grayson Rodriguez hasn't been up yet last year, in my opinion, their best pitcher left. But like Charlie Morton has been terrible.
Jalen got the Mets
terrible.
or the Phillies winning the World Series.
Jalen and Jordan are going at it in the comments about the
They
Phillies
got
winning the championship.
Jalen has the Phillies winning, and then he said, or maybe the Mets. I can agree with him on the Mets because
I think the Mets is fair.
But the Phillies, I don't know, man.
Dude, I saw the Phillies with no Bryce Harper against the Brewers in that series, and they looked like crap. They looked terrible. Jesus Luzardo got shelled in that series. The Brewers are the one team to shell them so far this year. And I don't know what happened to their offense in that series, but they were non-existent. It was just felt to what the entire time.
Jordan said Jordan's a Dodgers fan in the chat. And he said they're going back to back.
Nobody's touching to help the Dodgers rotation.
Hey, the Cubs can play with the Dodgers.
I think the Dodgers are like the Celtics this year. They're just not the same.
My concern with the Cubs is
sorry, go ahead, Chris.
I don't know if PCA is going to be able to keep up his form. He is 15 home runs already on the year. He hasn't hit one in a little while, and I don't know. I'm just a little. It feels like some of their offense might be smoke and mirrors. Now, of course, Kyle Tucker is going to be Kyle Tucker. He's him. And guys like Ian Happ are going to hit. Dansby Swanson's picked it up a little bit. But just the amount of runs that they score per game, I just don't know if that's sustainable.
The biggest concern for me is their pitching.
Not the Cubs? Or is that changed since?
Say that again?
Because Penny said Cubs best record in the league. I thought that was the Tigers.
I think right now,
the Cubs got it right now.
No, I think it's the Mets. The Mets have the best record.
The Mets overtook because I remember the Tigers took 2 of 3 from the Cubs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I love the Cubs lineup personally.
Yeah, the Mets have the best
record. I agree with what Chris is saying. Like, I mean, a guy like Carson Kelly having a fantastic season. He's never hit over 250 in his career. We'll have to see if this PCA start is like really legit. I like PCA a lot. But, it is kind of still a small-ish sample size. But my biggest problem with the Cubs, I don't think there's going to be any problems with their lineup, but their pitching really concerns me. Their pitching really concerns me. Out of Shota, no problem. No worries with Shota. But, who on the Cubs is going to start game 2? Is it going to be Horton? Is it going to be Tyone? Is it going to be
Tyone?
Horton and Tyone aren't bad, but when Ben Brown isn't playing against the Brewers, man, he's sketchy.
Is that really what you want to rule out in
the crazy thing about
series now?
They missed Justin Steele very badly.
Yep.
They missed Steele bad. So now I think they're gonna have to pivot. Even though some people were saying he sucks this year right now. Sandy Alcantara.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say.
You're gonna have to go get that dude that's throwing 99 miles per hour.
Good pitchers in there somewhere.
He was in a bad environment.
He was untouchable. The streets will never forget about 2021 Alcantara. He was untouchable in the year after COVID, man. And then that elbow injury really messed him up. But he
probably just need to change the scenery. And then I saw a comment in there saying that where do we have Paul Skeens going? That's a good question. I don't think he goes anywhere this year, but
Jalen, I'll ask you a question. If Horton, Shaw, Moises Ballesteros, Kevin Alcantara, those 4 guys and maybe someone else, would you trade your entire farm for him? Because that's been the mocks that I've seen. Because he's so much control left.
You said Shaw, Ballesteros, Kevin Alcantara, and Horton.
Yeah, and I saw it was a mock. It was those 4 guys, and then I somebody else because I think it was 4 top prospects for just straight up for Paul Skeens. Would you do a move like that to have potentially the best pitcher in the National League on your team, under team control until 2029?
I probably wouldn't include Shaw in there. I'd probably think about maybe Casey. Maybe that's if Kyle Tucker resigns. If Kyle Tucker resigns, then I'm moving Casey.
Right. Okay.
As a Shaw right now, I just can't do that yet because we don't have a third baseman, and you could get more value back with Sandy Alcantara and not have to give up big guns for that. So I don't think he will move. Like I don't think that's what I'm saying. I don't think Skeens moves right now, but I think next year you might have like then the Cubs will obviously know if they have Kyle Tucker or not to either go make that move or not. But
Because I've been seeing some crazy Skeens mocks because he just has he's like under arbitration until like I think it's like 2029 or 2030. It's like I saw one at the Red Sox. It was Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, and Christian Campbell, and it's like that sounds crazy, but like you'll have Skeens
for
making
like
less than $1 million.
5 years,
Yeah, making less than $1 million for like 5 years. So
because you know once that once he hit free agency, he's getting $300 million.
100%. It's gonna be. I think he'll probably get a bigger contract than Yamamoto.
Oh, 100%. Like I think everybody's saying that he's gonna be a Dodger or a Yankee. So that sucks. That would suck for baseball. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
It really would.
Yeah.
Just buy their way to the top and everything. What are you guys' take on Acuna? We got some people in the chat talk about Acuna.
When healthy,
Oh,
like I caught some
he
flack for
raked
saying-
in this Brewers series. He's hitting like now very small sample size, of course, hitting 340. But his concern has always been the injuries. He gets injured quite a bit, and just staying healthy is the biggest thing for him. When he's healthy, he's an MVP level player,
That's
and
what
he's
I'm saying,
demonstrated
yeah.
that so far this year. And his first at bat back in the bigs, or back from his injury, he hits a home run. I mean,
the best hitter in baseball, I can't say that, is Ohtani. But then Acuna is right there though. He might be number 2 behind Ohtani.
I would say Judge is probably 2, but if you go after that, he could. You
A
could
healthy Acuna, you know, he can do
player
all
in
of it
baseball, though.
offensively. But if we talk about pure hitting, then yes, maybe Judge. But I'm talking about like the pure offensive side is Ohtani and Acuna.
I think Acuna is the best 5-tool player in the game because like
Because Mike Trout is done. He's done.
Yeah, because you can't name me a better like base stealer and fielder with the combination of hitting than what Acuna has.
Because I mean, I haven't seen Aaron Judge steal like 50 bags yet.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, pure offensive standpoint is Ohtani and Acuna when Acuna's healthy. But as of like pure hitting, like we coming to the plate to hit, it's hands down Ohtani and Judge.
Another question in the chat was,
Acuna.
where do you think Skeens is going next year?
next year.
Or, wait, what did he
I
say?
feel like Pittsburgh might hang on to him for a couple years.
Yeah, they're not
Just
gonna let
because
that
they're so
go right
cheap
away.
and he's so affordable at that point. They're gonna
Yeah.
trade him like right before his arbitration is up, I feel like.
Oh yeah, because he's gonna get a bag in arbitration too. He's gonna get like maybe $10 million in arbitration.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Pirates are one of the only 3 teams in baseball to have never handed out a $100 million plus contract.
Who are the
They
other
do it
two?
now.
And they're not going to start either.
They're not going to start with him. I mean, because they don't have a team that is worth putting $300 million into a player for.
Yeah, they're not going to
Yeah.
start today, bro. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. I feel it, man. As a fan of a cheap team, man, it's tough out here, man. Which is why, I mean, if I was a Pirates fan, I would hate to get rid of Skeens, but like, I mean, if I'm the Pirates GM and somebody offers me like Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, Christian Campbell, Ceddanne Rafaela, it is going to be extremely hard for me to turn that down, honestly, because like. And the thing is with pitchers too, like you can be the healthiest pitcher, but with the uptick we've seen in Tommy John and how many pitcher injuries, there's been over 100 Tommy John surgeries in the past season and a half alone. It would be very like you have to wonder, like even with the healthiest guys, like how long is this going to last? Especially if as Skeens continues to develop, he sees an uptick in velocity.
I know I talked to Strash before about this, and he called pitchers, like, I think it was even on the pod, he called them like a dime a dozen. They're almost like running backs at this point with how their arms are just getting, with the pitch clock now, they're just getting fried just so quickly. And I think another good example of this is Jacob Mizorowski, who's coming up to make his debut with the Brewers tonight. He throws 103 for his fastball, which is just insane, especially for a starter. But guys like that, they get Tommy John so quick because the motion is so unnatural and how fast they're throwing. They're throwing 100 plus. Like back in the day, Aroldis Chapman was like eye popping with 99 miles an hour. Now every closer throws at 99.
Yeah. Aldis is one
we
of the
got
only
another
exceptions
comment
to that
saying,
rule
y'all
because
seen
he's
the
still
dude going
touching like
crazy?
103.
We got another comment saying y'all see the dude on the A's going crazy. Yeah, Denzel Clark. That guy is absolutely insane. Like
Yeah.
some of the plays that he just made in the outfield is possibly
catch-
some of the best you've probably
his
ever
catching is
seen.
Didn't he
unreal.
like literally climb over the wall for one of his catches or
Dude, he
something?
did the
That's one
Spider-Man.
of the best catches I've ever
I don't
seen.
understand how the A's find all of these players, but they can't win.
Well, Denzel Clark can't hit. That's the thing.
He can't
But
hit
he's
for shit.
an insane fielder. But I think if he's talking about, I think he's talking about Jacob Wilson. Jacob Wilson is
Oh yeah,
is
he's
the real
oh my
deal.
god. Forgot
That
Jacob
about
guy-
Wilson. They had what's
He
his
can do
name?
everything.
Brent Rooker.
Brent Rooker, Lawrence Butler is really good. Tyler Soderstrom. It's just the
Shea
thing about the A's-
Langoliers.
Yeah, Langoliers is good. He came over in the Olsen trade. The thing about the A's is their pitching is just horrible. Like Severino's been okay, but they just don't have any. They just don't have any like decent like starting arms, and I think that's the biggest thing. That whole stretch, I believe they went on like they lost like 18 of the last 20. They had the highest ERA in the American League during that stretch because they were like 5-6 games above 500 at one point.
Yeah, I remember seeing the standings. Like when the Brewers played them earlier this year, they were like 20-18, something like that, treading right around 500. I'm like, oh, the A's are decent this year. We beat a decent team in a series. Now I look at the standings and it's like, what happened?
Yeah, they definitely got a nice offensive core to build around, though. I mean, Wilson is going to run away with AL Rookie of the Year. Soderstrom is really good. Lawrence Butler's only 24. Rooker is having a great season. I'm still not out on like guys like JJ Bleday or like Zach Geloff. Nick Kurtz is another really good rookie. So they got
came up too. So
they got a nice core to build around, but they need some pitching, man.
So we'll be talking about baseball all summer long. Hot takes and crazy plays that we'll be seeing. But love to, so we're gonna jump into our final thoughts real quick. Make them quick.
David, man, I got a question for you, real quick.
Yes, sir.
What's your top 5 healthy in the NBA? All right, in the
Great
NBA,
Oh boy.
give me your top 5 healthiest. Like they're not injured, okay? At their
Okay.
peak of their powers, who is your top 5 in the NBA?
Oh, well, personally, I mean, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I have I think SGA is number one.
Okay.
I think his combination of scoring, his offensive bag, never gets sped up. I mean, I've always been a really huge SGA guy, but yeah, I got SGA at 1. I got Jokic at 2, Giannis at 3.
That checks out. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I really wanted to hear. But yeah, go ahead. Keep
I
going.
mean, the majority would say that
I don't have
that's the
any-
undisputed top 3.
I don't have anything to get. I like Giannis. I just
What's your 4 and 5?
A 4 and 5. Man, I haven't really thought about it that much, but honestly, 4 would probably. I don't know. I'd probably Luka's. I don't know if I would have Luka either 4 or 5,
Okay.
but if we're talking healthy and like still like are we talking like as of right
Healthy.
now?
Healthy.
Yes.
Just healthy. Doesn't
Pure
matter.
healthiness.
Healthy. Pure healthy.
If we're talking pure healthy, I really want to say Embiid,
Yeah.
but I'm also,
That's all I want to hear. That's all I want. Look, this is why I asked you this question, bro. I asked Jalen this question the other day. Me and Chris were like stunned. Okay. Jalen said his top 5.
I had Jokic. I had Wemby. I had LeBron.
Steph, and Ed.
And Steph, AE, and then I had Giannis right there tied with AE.
Giannis at 6.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
that's why he asked.
A
Why
pure
not?
healthy LeBron James.
He's
I'm
40.
I'm not doing it.
He's like, I don't know.
Jalen.
I might put AE over him because Embiid is horrible in the playoffs. Do yourselves a favor. Look
I'm
at
just-
Embiid
no.
stats in
Here.
elimination games.
I'm not talking about team stats. I'm just talking about pure player. Okay. If you're taking the best player, the healthy player, I'm not talking about the team. I'm just talking about the player in general. Who is your top 5? And I said mine was Giannis, Jokic, Shea, and then I had Embiid and then Luka. in my
Okay.
I
top.
value the 3-ball. I like the 3-ball.
He doesn't need it.
I would probably put Anthony Edwards 5 and then Embiid 6, but I hate Embiid. Like I
That's fair.
cannot.
That's
stand
fair. I'm
him.
not gonna hate you. I'm not gonna,
Right.
whatever.
But yeah,
But Embiid,
Giannis at 6. I don't know if I could agree with that.
Embiid at Embiid healthy is just like
I
disgusting.
see somebody on TikTok. They had theirs was like Jokic, Luka, and then it had SGA. I think it was.
Because y'all look at the team stats. I'm talking about the pure player. Giannis can only do so much for them.
You talk about 1-on-1.
Giannis.
Giannis is probably bodying
Giannis might be number
anybody.
3, but I'm talking about pure basketball, like 5-on-5.
Yes, me too. Giannis. What are you talking
Mhm.
about? 30,
Giannis is
60%
still
shooting.
in the top 5 for sure. Probably
He's
top
top-
3.
he's top-
That's what I'm
Two.
saying. He's like tied right there next to AE. Top 5. Yes.
No, I said for sure, and then
Right.
top 3 is probably. That's what I said.
Jalen, he is top 2, averaging 30
I can't
without a
have any lower than
3-pointer.
3. I can't have any
Averaging-
lower than 3.
Without a 3-point shot, he's averaging 30 on 60% shooting. Do you know who else can do that? Nobody. Not even LeBron can do that right now, fully healthy. Without a 3, yeah, good luck.
My
Yeah,
whole
I
thing with
don't know.
Embiid is just that everyone like back in 2021, everyone gave Ben Simmons so much shit for how he played, and that was fair. But Joel Embiid has been such a playoff choker. His stats in elimination games are horrible. He's averaging I think it was last time I checked 17 points on under 40% shooting in elimination games in his career.
Still not worse than
he-
James Harden.
And you got that CPT MVP. I can't stand him.
I don't
That's
even want to talk about James Harden, bro.
James Harden's worse. Still
Yeah.
to this day.
Yeah, no,
Kind of
100%.
crazy to say.
He's the worst, probably, elimination game player. I mean, and Harden had a golden opportunity this year. I thought that Clippers team was going to win that series in 6, especially with how they hung with Denver in game 1. And
I
then
think it's
Harden
actually
just craps
impressive
with
to
that in
actually
game
be
7.
that bad in game 7s. I think it's actually impressive to be that bad in game 7 when the game is needed to.
What do you have,
to
like
do the ball.
7 points in that game after averaging over
He was-
20
he
all
was
season?
horrible. He was horrible.
That's pretty impressive
Why was playing
to actually
1v1
be that
about
bad.
Game 7. It's the Russell Westbrook experience, man. He was one of the biggest reasons the Nuggets won the series against the Clippers, and he was probably one of the biggest reasons they lost the series versus the Thunder.
Giannis versus KD 1v1. Who wins?
Oh,
Damn.
That's tough.
That's tough. I didn't even go cap to you.
Here's the thing, though. Giannis has better defense than KD, but can you still stop him? Is the question in 1v1. I mean, he's the same. He's the same height as Giannis,
Is he 6'11" or is he
Shoot better.
7'2"?
but
Giannis is
KD can't
6'11".
guard Giannis 1v1. No way.
That's true, but KD can just shoot over everyone. Especially if he only has an inch. But
Not over
Giannis
Giannis.
can just go in the post the whole time.
Dude, I
Are we
think it
talking
almost
about-
depends on who gets ball first,
Who,
to be honest.
Where are we going to? Are we going to 21? I'm guessing.
Probably. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
NBA players 21. Yeah.
Dude, if
Mm.
KD gets ball first, he might never give it back. But if Giannis gets ball first, because if he just goes in the post every time.
I mean, Giannis has
Just
a mid
box
range
him.
now too, though. You gotta think about that.
Here's the thing, though, and I don't really like him, but in my opinion, if you want to talk about a really good one-on-one matchup, I would take healthy Kyrie over pretty much anyone in a
Oh, yeah.
1v1. I was having this debate with one of my buddies. If you put Curry and Kyrie in a 1v1, I think Kyrie's winning.
Curry won't be able to stop him because his handle is too tight.
I would like in
He
terms
said
of
1v1 on the
one-on-one
podcast,
isolation. I think Kyrie would beat Curry in a
I ain't gonna
one-on-one.
lie, bro. I got Chris in 1v1, bro. I ain't gonna lie. He cold. Chris got a jumper. I don't know what's going on.
Well, and out of all 4 of us,
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Nazir
yeah,
seen
I've
me
seen
play,
it. I've
so I
seen it.
just know that.
I seen you
Chris
play.
seen me
I seen you
play.
play. But you're more of a team player though. Like you coded in 5v5.
1v1, I'll probably. That's tough. That's tough.
I don't
Jalen,
know
we
about it.
played each other once, didn't we? I know me
I
and
don't think
David
I
have
played you. I don't think I've
before.
ever played you in rec ball, but
Chris
I've
and I
seen you
played
play
each other
though.
numerous times.
Dude, I had pneumonia the last time we played each other, and I had 35 points. It was
Oh,
ridiculous.
He pulled it out in a Jordan.
He could not. He could.
Pneumonia?
no offense, Chris, but I told my team, I was like, listen, man, he's got a clip, but like he told me he's not really feeling good. Like he's probably not going to be moving very much. But
35.
He could not miss, man. I think
I shot 10 for 12 from 3 in that game. I'm not even kidding.
It was funny because
So
like,
basically, what you're saying is you're the next modern day of Steph Curry.
I ain't gonna lie,
No,
bro.
I'm more like, oh gosh.
Bro, you like 6'6".
I got like Hall of Fame microwave, but I can also like, I can also be as cold as like a freaking freezer or something. Like I am very hot and cold.
You
Like
Chris
I had a
Middleton.
game this year where I think I shot like 0 for 15.
Oh, you Chris Middleton? Yeah, okay, I got you.
Pretty
I'm a
much,
team
yeah.
player, though. I will say that I'm a team player. I pass, but if I have to score, I will score. But
Oh, yeah.
I
No,
pass a lot.
I ain't saying you trash. You cold. It's just like I'm trash. I ain't gonna lie. I'll lock
No.
anybody.
I know what you're saying. I'm like what is
right?
See
I'm
me
a
on the
pass
football
first
field.
guard.
See me on the football field. See what happens.
I'm a
You,
pass
I was
first
gonna
guard.
say,
But if I have
like,
to
you
score, I'll
contractually
score.
play football, so that doesn't really correlate with basketball a lot, right?
Right. Yeah.
But before we get off, we got to answer that 1v1 question.
I got Giannis, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Got to answer that question.
I got Giannis, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
I got Giannis. Just
KD's
too
still tough,
physical.
though.
I think if there's one guy that can give KD a run for his money defensively, it's Giannis too. Because he
I ain't
can
gonna lie,
just,
bro. But KD did admit that Kyrie was torturing him in 1v1.
I think Kyrie would beat any single guard one-on-one in today's generation. I really do. Like, I had like a whole debate with my friends, but I think if Kyrie and Curry 1v1, I'm taking Kyrie.
Hey,
Jalen, not you, Jalen. The one in the chat. He said Mike Beasley's
Beasley.
dashing Giannis. Get out of here.
I'll probably have to take Giannis in that one. It's just too much in the paint. KD
I
will
was
be able
gonna
to guard
say,
him.
especially if Giannis gets ball first, like
If Giannis gets ball first, he ain't
it's
getting the ball
raps.
back.
It's raps at that point.
Because when
Giannis
Giannis
literally
goes
all he has to do
downhill,
is just go to the
no
post.
one is stopping him when he goes downhill, bro.
he puts his head down, gets a full head of steam, man. Like,
You don't even need to do that no more, bro. You got a mid range. He can shoot from anywhere in the middle.
But subscribe, like, share, comment, follow our podcast page on platforms. The links are in the description box below. We do have a Spotify, an Instagram, and a TikTok. So if you do listen to us just through the audio version, you can always come into our YouTube and interact with us like we had our guys stated. So we'll post reels, live, shorts of the show. And if you have any questions, you can always DM us. And we'll try to get back to you. So I'm not sure if we'll be on tomorrow, but we'll see. And we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully.